Hey, what's going on? It's good to see you today. I'm really excited for today's video. I'm going to go over my camera bag, what's inside of it, and why I want to recommend that gear to you. And I got my friend Baby Yoda, little Grogu, hanging in the back. We're going to have a ton of fun today. And without further ado, let's dive in. Alright, first up, let's talk about the big one, my camera. And I use the Canon R, and I can't recommend this camera enough. It is fantastic, both for photo and video, and I've used it for a ton of different things, from weddings to landscapes, product shots, you name it. I've shot tons of stuff on this camera. Cannot recommend it enough. If you want to see my full thoughts, I'll throw my review down in the description below. Now let's talk lenses. The first one I want to bring up is my wide-angle zoom, the Canon RF 15-35 2.8, an amazing lens. Guys, this lens is awesome, and you can use it for a lot of different things. You can use it for weddings, for vlogging, for landscapes, real estate, products, and the list goes on. You can use it for so many different things, and yes, the price tag is high on this lens, but I believe the quality and the value you get with this lens is totally worth that investment in your photography. And it's sharp, the colors are great, the autofocus is fast. There's just so much going for this lens. If you have the money and you need a wide angle zoom, this is not going to disappoint. The next lens is a new addition to the family, and it is the RF 70-200 2.8, the big kahuna. And I haven't had a chance to use this lens too much. I've only had it for like a week and a half or so. But so far, this lens is absolutely amazing. It is sharp, it's fast. I mean, all of the RF glass is just out of this world. If you get L series RF glass, you will not be disappointed. High price tag, but high return on investment. You take care of this lens, it'll last you 10 years, I'm sure. So this is what I'll be rocking for my telephoto lens, I'm sure for years and years to come. And so far, if you got the funds, I cannot recommend this lens enough. Now the third lens in my kit depends on what I'm going out to shoot. And the first one that I picked from is the Canon 100mm Macro 2.8. This lens, fantastic. It's a fantastic lens, and I primarily take this out if I'm going to shoot weddings. It's great for detail photos. It's also great for portraits, and it's good for shooting B-roll as well for all my video shooters out there. Got a video about that. I'll link that in the description as well. Check that out. But this is a phenomenal lens. Been around for a bit, so I'm expecting Canon to come out with an RF version in the future, and I will keep my eyes peeled for that. But the 100mm macro, awesome lens. And the other one that I use if I'm not taking this guy out is the Sigma 50mm 1.4 art lens. Another amazing lens. I feel like I'm saying that a lot. Amazing, awesome, phenomenal, fantastic. We got lots of adjectives, lots of good adjectives going on here today. But the 50 from Sigma really is a great lens. It's good for low light photography, video as well, and I really like using this lens to shoot interviews. That's one of my favorite lenses to use when I'm shooting interviews for any of videos that I create. And this lens, it's sharp, it's fast. Again, the colors are great. And the great thing about this lens is it's a lot cheaper than Canon's L series 50mm lenses. But I think the quality is really close to being the same. And I mean, yes, it's a 1.4, it's not a 1.2, but that's such a small difference in order to pay like another $1,000 that I just went with the Sigma 1.4. I'm really glad I did. Save some money, and the quality is there. Alright, I got Baby Yoda, little Grogu, with me again, and let's talk about my camera bag. So I use the Thule Covert DSLR backpack, even though I shoot mirrorless these days. That's the name of the bag, and I really like this bag. Do I love everything about it? No, there are some things I'd like to add. I'll touch on those. But overall, I really like this bag. It's great for hiking. It's rugged. It's like water resistant. I don't think it's waterproof, but it's water resistant. You can throw this thing around and it keeps your gear safe, and that's really important to me. The camera compartment is over here on the side. You unzip it right here, and it's got a port for your camera and 2 lenses, so that's why I talked about carrying 3 lenses with me, but I love that. You got space up here for Grogu, but also for all of your other just miscellaneous gear up top. If I open it up, I've got pouches for my filters and other stuff, like whatever you want to put in your bag. You've got pouches and zippers for all these different things. And you've got your tripod holder on the side. Nice padded back, padded straps, really like that. Good chest strap. I wish it had a hip strap. That's one of my gripes with this bag. Really wish it had that, especially for adventure photography, going hiking and traveling long distances like that. But overall, I really like this bag. If you'd like a review of it, I can do that. Drop a comment below. But for this video here, not going to touch on every little thing. But that's the bag I rock, and I really like it. Now let's talk about the old beast, the Canon 6D, my old reliable. I've used this camera for many, many years, and it still gets the job done. It's a fantastic stills camera. On the video side, not as good, but I think it's always great to have a backup camera if you're doing any work for clients or any, just you want to have a backup if you're doing photography for yourself. You don't want your main camera to go down for whatever reason, and then you're out there and can't take pictures. So I think it's always a good idea to have a backup camera, and this is the one that I have with me, and I'm sure I'll carry it for some time to come. Next up in the camera bag is the GoPro Hero 9. I love this little thing. It's so cool, and it's so much fun to use, to find unique angles, to be able to mount it on your car, to put it on your head with the head strap, or just put it on a stick and run around with this thing. I've always loved using GoPros. I think you can have a lot of fun with them if you let yourself be creative with them. Sure, it's not a cinema camera or a really nice mirrorless camera, but the quality in these things these days is really, really good. And I can say from testing this, the 5K footage looks really awesome, and the 4K does as well. Even the 2K slow-mo, really good. But I always think it's good to have some kind of action cam in your bag, because you never know when you'll need it. I also want to mention these guys right here. These are ND filters made for your GoPro by Polar Pro. And these things are awesome because they help you lock in your shutter speeds so that if you're filming in bright daylight, your GoPro shutter speed isn't at 1/2000th of a second and your footage looks bad, for lack of a better term. So it's great to have these if you're looking to film any cinematic GoPro footage. I also want to talk about this fella right here. This is the Peter McKinnon Variable Neutral Density Signature Edition 2 filter. That is a mouthful, but this is a variable neutral density filter, which I love when I'm shooting video, specifically shooting C-Log at wide apertures like 2.8, or if I bring that 50 out and I'm shooting at f2 or even wide open at 1.4. This is great so that I don't have to whack my shutter speed super high, and I can control my exposure really well, especially if you're in a bright, sunny area. This is great to have, and I really think everyone should have some kind of neutral density filter of some sort if you're shooting serious video. The next filter I have is the Polar Pro ND16/PL filter. So this is a neutral density and a circular polarizer combined into one. You get the best of both worlds. This is a 4-stop filter, and I use this a lot for my landscapes, especially if I'm shooting waterfalls, because it helps me get those slow shutter speeds. I can blur the water, but then I can also have the polarizing effect so that I can see through the water and remove those harsh glares and reflections off of the rocks that the water has splashed on. So this is great for landscape photography. Really, really love this lens, this filter for that. And it has a lot of other uses as well. I've used it for video. It's been great, but really want to recommend this to anyone that's serious about nature and landscape photography work. Let's move on to audio a little bit. I want to talk about this little guy, this wireless lav. I use the Tascam DR10L. Just wanted to make sure I got that name right. but this is a great little wireless lav. I use it for a wedding video to clip onto the groom or the officiant, capture nice audio of that ceremony, but it's also good to just clip on yourself if you're away from the camera and can't be using a shotgun mic and you want to run around. This is great to have because it's so small, and I do want to mention it does not sync to your camera. It records to itself, so that's something to be aware of, but it's real tiny. It's not too expensive, and the audio quality you get out of it is really, really good. Now the main mic I use is the Sennheiser, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, the MKE600. It's a great microphone. The sound quality is excellent. It's great to throw on your camera for just natural sound. It's great to use for interviews. It can even be used for voiceover. It can be used just for recording sounds for whatever mix you're creating. It's a great microphone. I don't remember it being too expensive. I believe it was in the mid 300s. So if you want really nice quality audio, this is a great microphone option for you. And now welcome the Joby. I love this thing. It is a great piece of photo video equipment. You've seen it a lot by vloggers, and it's great for vlogging. It's great for that, but it's also good if you go hiking and you want to mount your camera on a rock or a log. It's great for that purpose as well. And it's nice because you can bend it and fold it in whatever way you need to in order to fit in your bag. Can't do that with a normal tripod. And it's lightweight. Everyone loves lightweight gear. Not going to spend too much time on this item here, but I bring a tripod with me on my camera bag. I think every photographer should have a tripod, and don't neglect how useful they can really be. Next up is a camera strap. I got this one here by Black Rapid that I can just throw over my shoulder like that. I really like these. I'm not really a fan of the neck strap, but you can lock in your camera here. It just sits and floats at your side, and this is great if you're shooting a long wedding day. Let me tell you, you don't want that wearing on your neck, and you also don't want to be just holding your camera all day. You're going to want to let that rest a little bit. It's great for hiking as well. I think every photographer should have some kind of over-the-shoulder camera strap. Next up is these fellas, and you may be thinking these are just plastic bags, and they pretty much are, but they're rain sleeves, and rain sleeves are a must-have for anyone that's doing any outdoor photography, especially hiking and going here, there, and everywhere. But your camera basically slides in the thing, you put your arm in it, like this, if I can get it right, and then you tie this around your lens, and yeah, it's not perfect, but it's definitely a lot more than just having your camera out there in the elements. So I always pack one, if not two of these in my bag. It's come in handy on a few occasions when rain comes out of nowhere, and it's just a great thing to have in your kit. This next item is a definite must-have, and it is a portable battery pack to charge your phone or any other little accessories you might have. Goodness, has this come in handy many times. Can't recommend throwing one of these in your kit enough. You'll be really glad you had one, because when your phone dies and you're out on a job or out adventuring somewhere, you're gonna be glad you had this fella in your camera bag. Some other great items are spare batteries, and not just for your camera, but bringing AA's and AAA's and other kind of batteries as well. This could be for a flash. It could be for some other kind of light. I don't know. You may have something with you that requires these batteries. And hey, if it can go dead, it will go dead. So it's great to be prepared for that. Bring extra batteries with you. They don't take up too much space and they don't weigh too much. So why not throw some of these in your camera bag and be prepared? And of course, you probably knew this was coming, but spare SD cards, because you will be glad you had these as well when you are doing something and your card is full, or you just need a backup of some sort. It's great to have spare SD cards with you. And goodness, if one failed, yikes, that would be real bad. You'd be really glad that you had one of these in your kit so that you could keep rolling on whatever shoot you're doing. So definitely throw some of these in your kit. You'll be glad you did, and that's what I got to say about that. Of course, in my camera bag, I also bring chargers. I have a USB-C charger. I have a phone charger. I have a Android phone type charger. I got chargers. I'm ready for whatever comes my way. And that's the point of this. You want to be ready to charge whatever kind of gear you have because, again, if it can die, it will die. And you'll be glad you had these with you. Another must-have for my video shooters are headphones, and do not neglect having these with you because you could be recording sound in your camera and see those levels, but then bring it back later and listen to it and it's garbage and you will hate life if that happens. You do not want to be there. So even if they're little small guys like this, pack some headphones with you. Always listen to your audio when you're recording it because maybe you could possibly notice something in your audio that could be fixed on site so that you don't have a headache later. So pack headphones and save yourself the trouble. Also with me, I've got adapters of different kinds, mainly for audio, and I've also got HDMI to mini HDMI, but again, you never know when you'll run into that. They don't take up too much space, they're lightweight, so why not throw them in the bag and be ready for whatever situation comes your way. All right, back to some of the fun stuff. I bring sunglasses with me. I love sunglasses because my eyes do not like the very bright sun. It hurts my face. And so I bring sunglasses with me wherever I go because I never know when that's going to happen. I like being prepared for that, and I like being comfortable. I hate that sun blaring in my face. So, must-have for me, might be a must-have for you. Speaking of the sun, I also bring a little bit of sunblock with me because I hate being sunburnt. It's not fun and it's not good for you. So, if you're going to be out in the sun for any long duration of time, bring some sunblock. Save yourself the trouble now, save yourself the trouble later. You're probably going to laugh at me for this one, but socks. I bring an extra pair of socks with me. Why do you ask? Because I hate it when my feet are cold or when my feet are wet. It is not fun. And so, when you're on top of a mountain photographing something and then you sit for a while and your feet start getting cold, you'll be glad you brought an extra pair of socks. Or when you are hiking and you walk through some river and your waterproof boots actually aren't waterproof, you'll find that out real quick, and then your feet will be wet, but you can change your socks and be a happy camper yet again. So I always bring an extra pair of socks with me because I have been there and not had them, and it sucked. And now I'm ready, and it won't suck. Another fun thing to bring with you is a portable Bluetooth speaker. Again, I'm a big hiker. I love taking this if I'm going hiking, but it's great also for portrait sessions. You can ask your client, hey, what's your favorite kind of music? Put some of that on in the background, relax, vibe. They'll get more comfortable and the shoot will go better. It's also good if you're just shooting B-roll and you're not worried about audio in your finished video product. And I love music, and I love having some good music playing in the background while I work. It makes me more relaxed, and I actually think it helps me produce a better product too. Next up, some tape, and it's purple so that I can see it. And this is good if you need to label anything, but also if you need to tie anything together or fix anything. If you're on a shoot, you might need tape to fix something, and you can be that guy that says, hey, I got tape. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. And one of my favorites, snacks, because every great photographer needs snacks in their camera bag, especially if you're shooting weddings and you're going to be hustling a lot. You're going to need to sneak a snack to ease your hunger, and this applies for any real long shoot. I suppose you're going to get hungry, so pack a snack. Every great photographer needs a snack. Yet another useful item is a multi-tool. I love having this in my camera bag. It has definitely come in handy. It is nice to be prepared for whatever could come your way, and I think you should have one as well. And for anyone that's going to be going out at night, especially for my adventure photographers, I bring a headlamp with me because if you're hiking down in the dark after shooting sunset, you're going to want to see where you're walking. And it's also great if you're camping or you're just out doing night photography and you got to see what's going on. So I pack a headlamp with me. It has been a great addition to my camera bag, and I think you'll find that also. And my last item for you today is a journal. I think it's great to have a journal in your camera bag in case you're out somewhere and any new creative ideas come your way. You can jot them down. Maybe you're just reflecting on what's happening. Maybe you're praying and you're writing down prayer requests or different things that the Lord is speaking to you. This is great to have in your camera bag. I really like it if I go hiking and I just take a moment to sit down and to enjoy what's around me and just soak it all in and record my thoughts. I love having a journal with me. And that's what's in my camera bag 2021 edition. Smash that like button if you enjoyed this video, found it helpful, found it entertaining, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.